Hello everybody, David here. Thank you for watching Crazy Narcissist Ex-Girlfriend. This is the Q&A video where I answer everyone's questions from the last Q&A video. Any questions you have today, please go down in the comment section and ask them, and I'll answer them in the next Q&A video. Let's get started. There's a lot. Roxy Bolt, what is the difference between somatic and cerebral narcissist? Without getting in the actual definitions of the words, they're simply descriptions for narcissists. One, the somatic, tends to be all about their body. The other, the cerebral, tends to be all about their brain. So the cerebral kind of is non-sexual, non-physical, wants to battle of the wits, put you down by their intelligence. The somatic is the, very promiscuous or slutty. One may be addicted to drugs, alcohol, uses their body to get what they want, lure people in, very sexual. Barbara BH, would you talk about comorbid, borderline, and narcissism? So, in the cluster B personality disorder, you have borderline personality disorder and you have narcissistic personality disorder. They very, very, very commonly are comorbid. Now, both of them are spectrums. Borderline, you have a spectrum, and some are very nice, pleasant, sweet, beautiful, some of the nicest, best people I've ever met. And, they have to deal with their disorder and they can heal from it. The ones that are comorbid with narcissism don't heal. Really, they are usually the biggest mess that you can get. They're some of the most scariest people in the world. Their rage is so fucking scary. They're so out of control that they don't give a shit what happens or what they do to anybody. Very, very scary. It's much scarier than any kind of sociopathic, psychopathic, narcissistic rage. The borderline narcissistic rage is horrific. And it's just, so it's very common. The cluster Bs are very common to have traits of all of them. Very, very common. The sociopath, psychopath seems to have traits of all of it. So, they're all very comorbid in that cluster B. It's amazing. Christine Lynn, curious whether I believe today's society is breeding more narcissists. Yes, they are. It's, I guess, maybe an epidemic. Society in general is becoming less empathetic. The studies have shown that in just a generation, one lifetime, we're falling about like 30%, something like that, in university. A study that was done in universities in America. It's definitely on the rise. Social media is so breaking up thought patterns and concentration and destroying our memory, and it's a very non-attached, non-emotional way to communicate with people and meet people. So it's destroying society. The real problem is how accepted it is. We accept it. Narcissism seems to be okay generally in society. To be selfish, to take selfies, to screw people over is not really that much of a big deal anymore, it seems like. And then, we put people in office that are narcissists. We vote for them. So, it's becoming accepted socially. Darnell Jones, after so many years of being a yes man and people pleaser, now I'm more self-centered, selfish, with boundaries. Am I becoming a narcissist? No, Darnell. It's feeling awkward because you've never been selfish or cared about yourself enough, right? You've cared about other people too much. You've made it a point and you have felt that you need to make other people happy around you for you to be happy next. So they be happy first and then you be happy. No, that's not the way it works. You be happy first. You be selfish. You meet your needs and you make sure you get what you need first. There's no reason to please somebody else first unless you have a baby. And you please your baby first. That's it. Not even a teenage child or adolescent child. You please yourself first. And it feels awkward. And enforcing boundaries at first feels very awkward. But you have to do it, and it starts to become feeling more normal, and after a while, you won't feel this way anymore. Samuel Gergen, what is the ultimate fate of the narcissist? Well, that's kind of up to them. Empty, shallow, lost life, usually with somebody that they don't love and is using them until they retire, die, whatever. I mean, the fate of them is not good because they can't hold down a job very easily and they can't have successful long relationships. So it's going to be massive manipulation, game playing, using, lying, cheating, everything. They're going to keep doing it. And, you know, the biggest thing they try to do is hold down that life longer. That'll stick with them, you know, forever. Please discuss the narcissist friend. I just made a video called The Narcissist Friend, and I will be dropping that tomorrow. You guys will see that tomorrow. Thank you, Samuel. Roxy Bolt. Why do narcissists feel love and affection towards their pet and not their child? She's specifically asking about a male narcissist she knows who has a child for 9 years, doesn't seem to give a shit about the child, but just adores the cat. Well, they have a personality disorder, which makes them, you know, unable to connect with humans. And not that he's going to connect with the cat, it's just that the cat's all about him. The cat's easy. You know, cat doesn't do much. Cat's just there to pet and play with and give him a lot of attention back. Be all about him and never say no, and, you know, I mean, that's it. Sean Blight, is it normal to keep asking yourself, is it me, after the relationship? Yes, I talk about it all the time. It's very normal, Sean. Especially after like a crazy borderline narcissist or something that makes you feel so fucking crazy and you totally doubt everything. After discovering that your ex is a narcissist and you start seeing these narcissistic traits, you start wondering if you're a narcissist. The problem is, Sean, is we all have narcissistic traits. Your ex has a lot more, which makes her a narcissist. You're probably not a narcissist. The fact that you're watching the videos and the fact that you care, the fact that you want to know, and the fact that you don't want to be one means that you're probably not one. They don't care. They don't do this, what we're doing. They don't do what you're doing. They don't give a shit. They don't have a problem with who they are. And yeah, it's very normal, Sean, okay? So you just keep learning about these people so you can stop doubting yourself, so you're more informed, more educated, and stop doubting yourself. You know that they're a narcissist. You know that you're not, okay? And Anka Ryan, even though my ex discarded me, why is he keeping the pregnancy of the new source a secret? So her ex got his new girlfriend pregnant, but keeps lying about it and keeps it a secret. And why? Well, usually the biggest reason is he's embarrassed of the new source. So the new source he has now does not promote him, does not make him feel like, you know, a better person in any way. They're not, you know, basically he's probably embarrassed of this new source. That's usually what it is. Also, another question from Anka Ryan. Why does my ex kiss his abusive family's butt but abused me? Well, it's very common for these narcissists to stay in the narcissistic family. It's sick. It's a sickness. It's pathological. They don't leave. They're not healthy. They don't say, oh, and they constantly try and prove their parents wrong that abused them. And they take it. They take it and take it and take it. And then they put it all out on you. So he turns around and takes all that shit that he got and he gives it to you. Hurt people hurt people. And it's amazing that they don't put it back on the person that hurt them. Holly Rolette Macaulay. Have you ever heard of two narcissists together? Yes, I've talked about this a lot, Holly. It happens. Usually it's like two different kinds of narcissists. Like I was just talking about, the cerebral and the somatic. One kind of feeds off the other. So one gets attention, you know, the cerebral smart one gets attention from the somatic that says, oh, you're so smart and all this. And then this one gets, the somatic gets attention from the cerebral, you know, and basically they can actually abuse each other and feed off the attention that they give each other. So yeah, it's actually common. Yanita, how can we miss and love a monster after all the bad things they have done to us? Well, right there, you know, you don't miss a monster and you don't love a monster. So why do you feel that way? Very common to feel like you miss them and love them still. And, you know, it's common to miss and love somebody that you love and miss and you don't see them anymore. That's common. So you need to educate and inform yourself and realize that what you love isn't true, that they're lying to you. You don't really love the real them. You don't really miss the real them. Okay, the real them is that piece of shit that treated you like shit and left you crying and leaving you sit there to whatever, rot. educate yourself, inform yourself, okay? Because you don't love him and you don't miss a monster, right? So you feel like this because he made you feel good when he was around you. He fucked with your head and your hormones went up, and now that he's gone, they go down. Now that he's gone, stress chemicals rise and it feels like shit. Makes you think you miss him and you love him and you don't. Okay? This will cease in time, naturally, but also educate yourself. Okay, Anita? With Love asks, what do you think killing them with kindness does? Like, how does killing them with kindness work when you run into them? I don't recommend it. I don't see why kissing their ass would do anything for them except to give them attention and totally have them not respect you. Her LRFness asks, I know it's advisable to stay single after a relationship with a narcissist. What if during the healing process you meet an emotionally healthy person and fall for them? So you have been abused by a narcissist and now you're currently healing. You're totally deep in the recovery process. You haven't healed totally yet, but all of a sudden you meet someone that you are in love with and you just are crazy about, and this person you believe is a totally emotionally healthy person. What should you do? Just be totally open and honest. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. I understand you don't want to say, hey, I'm still working on me. I'm not ready for this relationship, so bye. I get that. You also don't want to lie and hide everything and say, pretend that you're healthy, right? That's not fair to you, not fair to him. So you just tell him where you're at. You got to tell him where you're at, and it's all about how fast things are taken. So you need to control the speed at which the relationship goes, and you need to explain to him that's what you're doing. So it's a total combination of, this makes me feel uncomfortable, this is too fast, I'm not ready for this. And then at the same time, his needs need to be met, and he needs to be open and honest during this process and let you know if it's not good enough for him, right? So it's constant communication all the time. How do you feel? How do you feel? Right? Because I understand you don't want to let a good guy go. Okay? You'll be okay. I'm sure you're a great person, and I'm sure he'll stick around and wait until you decide that you're healthy enough. Okay? Because if he cares about you, he will. He will stick around. Okay? Gloria Highlands, is it possible to experience PTSD the day after the breakup? Gloria, you have PTSD before the breakup. He gave it to you during the relationship. You've been stressed out. The reason you feel like this right after the day after the breakup, is because the stress chemicals released in your brain. He's gone. Right? That's huge amount of stress that you can't handle. It's overwhelming. There are things you can do for this, by the way, Gloria. I tell people this that experience the worst kind of stress, PTSD you could think of. If it's so fucking bad you can't handle it, guys, you can actually rock yourself like a baby. And I know that seems pretty harsh, but if you think about a baby crying and they rock the baby, that's why the baby stops. It's because actually that back and forth motion actually releases endorphins in your brain, and it actually covers up a lot of that stress chemicals in your head and makes you stop being so upset. That's why babies stop crying. That's something that can help you right away. But Gloria, this isn't PTSD just the day after. You had it before, but you didn't experience it as much when he was around, because he also raised your hormone levels and good endorphins and stuff like that while you were with him. So now that he's gone, those are gone as well, and the stress chemicals rise. Okay? You need to talk about this, honey. You need to stay away from them. Stay away from all these bad people. You need to talk about what happened and give yourself time to heal. Okay? Chris Saint, it's easy to be triggered by people with narcissistic traits after an abusive relationship. Why do we bring this back? How do we bring this back to balance? So after an abusive relationship, and we're totally stressed out, and we know what narcissistic traits are, and now there's somebody that is a narcissist or has narcissistic traits, and it kind of triggers that with us. And how do we bring that back to balance? Because it doesn't affect other people as much. Well, that's a great question, Chris. It's about awareness. It's about understanding your reaction to things and try not to overreact right away. And I try not to react right away. When I experience my PTSD and my anger, I try to be so aware of it and just say, David, you know, maybe not the first reaction is always the best. Right in the beginning, this is going to cause you stress. I would recommend, and I always do with everybody, you got to keep all stress, all toxic people out of your life in the beginning, because you have to create that real stress-free environment to let your brain heal. So in the beginning, I think it would be smart to try and stay away from these people, try and move departments, change jobs, stuff like that. As time goes on, you need to learn how to deal with these people because they're everywhere and you can't avoid them. So you're going to have to learn how to deal with them. And all you got to do is speak up when they cross your boundaries. Okay? Makeup mobster. Is it possible for a narcissist to be both overt and covert? Yes, it is. And everyone's going to tell you all kinds of examples how their narcissist was overt and covert. It's a general description. They usually fall in one category or the other and show traits of both. Okay? Shine On asks, what lit a fire under my ass to get moving? Because in her 40s, she feels like just living in her childhood bedroom. Totally. You feel like isolating. I understand that, Shine On. That's very, very, very common. And I did it. Okay? I isolated for 3 or 4 months. Then I went out partying and drinking like crazy, trying to date again. I tried everything and nothing worked. And I just got sick of feeling like shit. And I made a decision and this is before I knew about narcissism. I made a decision to stop dating, to just go to work, go home, eat healthy, live healthy, sleep. And because I got to the point where I got to try everything because, you know, individual things aren't working. So it's my whole fucking life's got to change right now. And that's what it took. And it was just the amount of stress. I couldn't handle it anymore. Felt horrible. And I was so grateful I discovered videos like this. I was so grateful. So grateful. It changed my life immediately. I healed immediately. Kiki, what do you say to a family member going through narcissistic abuse? So you know someone that's going through narcissistic abuse. What do you tell them? You know, all you can do is tell them the very important facts. I know they might start shutting you off and protecting who they love and be in total denial. You tell them what they are. They're a narcissist. They have a personality disorder that their part of their brain never developed, and they're probably never going to change, you know, and they're abusing him, and give examples of how she's abusing him. And just try and get him to, you know, inform himself, educate himself, and watch videos. Other than that, there's nothing else you can do, Kiki. It's a sad fucking thing, but you know that there's nothing that somebody else really could have done for you. You know, it's got to be you. It's got to be inside. It's got to be a decision that you make. If you've already presented the facts to him, there's nothing else you can do if he doesn't want to take it or listen or learn. Keep telling him you love him. Keep telling him you love him, and you know, offer him help when he's ready, and that's it. You know, and keep asking him. I always ask people, have you had enough pain yet? You know, are you done with the amount of pain? Or you want some more? You're not done, you want more pain? Okay. Let me know when you're done with the pain. Danielle F. I've been in relationships with narcs. I struggle with being single. I crave people, and I need to do good things to people around me. What's wrong with me? Well, Danielle, my guess is in your childhood, you've been taught to make everyone else happy, and that's kind of what we all kind of do, but you're probably dealing with some anxiety with people leaving you, some abandonment issues. You definitely carry some shame with you from your childhood that you need to deal with, because most likely you don't feel worthy enough to take care of yourself, to put yourself first, to tell people what they're doing to you is wrong, to stop. So the best thing you can do is seek counseling, therapy, a coach, talk to somebody that can help you identify these things, that can start training you to help you to put your feelings first and ask yourself, how do I feel about this all the time? Not how does somebody else feel about this? How do I feel about this? Because that's what's most important. It's like being a parent, Danielle. You cannot be the mother that you want to be, right? By concentrating everything on the child or somebody else. You have to be the best mother you can be by being a great, happy person. So you have to concentrate on yourself and make yourself happy first before you can make anybody else happy. So you're not pleasing anyone. You know, you're displeasing yourself. So counseling, therapy, talk about your childhood issues and find out why you don't feel worthy enough to put yourself first, your feelings first, that you do that with other people. As far as being single, you're just used to not being alone. You're scared of it. Guess what I recommend? Be alone for a little while. You have things to work on, okay, Daniel? Thank you so much for the question. I know a lot of other people out there are dealing with this. Christy Martin. If a narcissist gives you the silent treatment, then you go no contact and block them. Does that give them a narcissistic injury? Anytime you deny a narcissist, it gives them an injury. He believes he owns you for life, Christy, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And his silent treatment is him out cheating on you. And when he's done cheating on you, he wants to go back to you for more attention. The fact that you won't give him that attention, he can't figure it out. Because he's so omnipotent, he thinks he is the fucking godlike shit on this world. And how could anybody not want to be with him, no matter what he does to you? Good job, Chrissy. Keep doing it. Fuck him. Jessica S. What if a coworker employs narc tactics on you? Can this hinder recovery? Well, I kind of talked about this a little earlier. In the beginning, yes, it will hinder recovery. You need to stay away from toxic people in the beginning relationship. Eventually, you need to learn how to deal with them. They're everywhere. They're your boss, your coworker, your employees, your customers, your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You know, you got to learn how to deal with them. Obviously, the close ones you get out of your life, but you know, you can't just keep changing jobs because there's a narcissist there. Danger Dave, are we in a narcissistic epidemic? Yes. Kim Gray, if cutting out all contact is good, why keep talking about them? Cutting out all contact is good because they caused a lot of damage to your brain. So to stop that damage to your brain, you need to get rid of them. To heal some of the damage in your brain, you need to talk about them to process everything that happened. You have a lot of fucked up emotions, a lot of fucked up feelings about some of the things that happen. And a lot of the things that happen you believe is your fault. So you're going to realize that this is not your fault and that what you're experiencing is normal. It helps you feel a lot better and helps you heal. Okay? And you talk about him until you don't want to or need to anymore. Okay? Makeup Mobster. Why do people date more than one narcissist? Because they never learned, after the first one, they never learned to deal with their shame and their boundaries. You have to deal with their childhood shame so that you can have strong enough boundaries to keep these pieces of shit out of your life. Okay? They're attracted to you. They like us because we don't have boundaries. Once we have boundaries, they don't like us anymore. Have I ever heard of multiple narcs in a family? Yes. Narcissists are pretty much caused by abuse. So abuse is a pattern, right? So there's narcissists in families, and psychopaths and sociopaths even more so. It's genetic. And even narcissism and borderline, they're finding out, can be genetic. So for it to be multiple in families, yes, you're talking about dysfunctional families. These people don't get help. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the questions. You guys, if you can, state where you are when you ask me a question. I love it. We have fucking people all around the world, everywhere, in different little parts, different countries. So it's really interesting to me, and I'm sure to others, to know, you know, all these fellow subscribers that we are, kind of know where you guys are from. Okay? That's it. Thank you so much. Any questions you guys have, go down in the comment section and ask them. I'll answer them in the next video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please like. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Ask me a question, okay? Share this video with someone else you think that it can help. And most of all, love yourself first. Thank you, everyone. Take care.